Good morning and welcome to Harbor Highlights.
Just a reminder that today is our Mindset Monday. We're having an exciting show for you today. Ms. Bishop shared with students what they can expect and last-minute reminders for the 8th grade DC trip.
We also have information about a couple clubs you might want to check out.
This and more, so stay tuned.
Good morning, I'm Giselle.
And I'm Nayeli. To start our show today, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can you believe it's March already? March is National Reading Month. So to kick off this month to celebrate reading, we have some teachers sharing some books you might want to check out.
We are here with Mrs. Cumberland. What is your favorite book?
Okay, you're asking an English teacher to identify only one favorite book? Very difficult. One of my favorites, and it's a historical fiction piece called Codename Verity. It's a novel that is set during World War II, which I absolutely love World War II pieces. This one's different because it talks about two female flyers, pilots, and one, they get shot down over in occupied France, and they get captured, and only one escapes. So it's a story of friendship, but it's also a story of strategy, and it's one of those types of books that you have to read again because you're afraid you might have missed something the first time through. So Codename Verity, one of my favorites.
That's really hard as an English teacher to pick out a favorite book, but I did find a couple that I'd like to share. One is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee, which is like a prequel to her To Kill a Mockingbird, which she's so famous for, the only book she's known to have published until this little gem was found. This is great because it shows the writing process. It shows Harper Lee's creating these characters and how she later took a little segment, a little gem out of this book and created her classic To Kill a Mockingbird. But the book itself is a pretty good piece. It's set in the mid-1950s and it's talking about, racial change and a deep South, the things that were changing in the political and the cultural systems of America and how hard that was for families to go through, to experience.
One book that I really like that I'm reading right now is called Nevermore. It's The Trials of Morrigan Crow, and it's a fairly new book. But Morrigan is the main character, and she's cursed. She was born on Eventide, which is the worst day of the year for a girl to be, or for any kid to be born. And so in her town, she's blamed for everything that goes wrong. Heart attacks and hailstorms and just about anything. So because she's cursed, at midnight on her 11th birthday, she is supposed to die. And she's enjoying her final birthday dinner with her family, awaiting midnight, and this strange man comes in, and his name is Jupiter North, and he steals her away and takes her to Nevermore, this magical land where he lives, and he wants her to compete to become part of the Magical Wondrous Society. And part of this is she has to go through 4 different trials that could mean life or death for her. They're pretty dangerous, and if she makes it, she's good to go. And if she doesn't, she's not really sure what could happen to her. If you like Harry Potter and Percy Jackson and The Unwanteds by Lisa McMahon, I think you'll really, really like this book.
Hello, my favorite book is The Hate U Give right now. It is by Angie Thomas. This book deals with a lot of the social issues that are currently happening today, and it's about a girl, Star, who's in 2 different worlds, and it's all about how she finds her voice in order to do the right thing. And so there's a lot of life lessons in this book, and I think it's a great book for students to read.
My favorite book in 8th grade and 9th grade was Born Confused by Tanuja Desse Hadir. which is about an Indian American girl who, similar to me, is multicultural. And I was also kind of the confused adolescent girl at that time. And it was good to kind of find a relatable experience with a girl my age who was kind of exploring both her Indian heritage, mine being of Laos heritage, and then her American family as well. So just exploring those different cultures and kind of finding herself. So I'd recommend it to other students who have similar multicultural backgrounds who would like experience to connect to.
Always hard to pick just one, but I'll start with Crossover, a basketball book about two twins who love the sport, love each other, but struggle with some other things in their life. It starts out with a great poem that ends with, "And my dipping will leave you slipping on the floor while I swoop in to the finish with a fierce finger roll straight to the hole, swoosh." Perfect book to read during March Madness as we get ready for that. And I highlight it also because I'm looking forward to reading Kwame Alexander's new book that will not publish until April, but I picked up a copy of it at the recent library conference, and this one is a prequel to Crossover and tells how the father, Charlie "Da Man" Bell, spent some time with his grandparents and learned his love of basketball and jazz music. Also written in poetry and in some graphic novel sequences in it. And for the soccer fans, he wrote Booked, which many of you have read. These are popular in the library. And because I can never pick just one book, a nonfiction book that just went straight to my librarian heart is the Library on Wheels, and it tells the story of a woman who in the early late 1800s put together the first bookmobile. She wanted all people to be able to read, not just the rich and not just people who lived in the cities, and so she took her books out into the countryside and created the first bookmobile. So when you see that WOEA bookmobile travel in your neighborhoods this summer, you have to thank Mary Lemist Tickham, who did it first. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Dobres and English teachers for giving us good book lists to read during March's Reading Month. So students, if you need a good book, make sure to check out these recommendations.
Make sure to check out these books and more in the library. Now over to this week's general announcements.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Mason. This week lunch specials are Monday meatball marinara subs, Tuesday chicken and cheese enchiladas, Wednesday is oven fried chicken legs and mashed potatoes.
Thursday, chicken roll with fried rice, and Friday, pasta alfredo with garlic breadstick. The knitting club meets today in the library.
Calling All Colors meets Wednesday, March 7th. Sign Language meets Thursday.
All this week you can buy Blue Out shirts until they are gone for only $3. The homeroom with the most participation wins, you guessed it, donuts.
They will be on sale all this week, and make sure to wear your shirts this Friday for another Blue Out.
This Friday, approximately 90 students from Hybrid Lights and Mac Bay will board a plane for a fun-filled long weekend in Washington, D.C.
Here is more about this awesome trip and a few reminders.
Hello, we're here today with Miss Bishop to talk about the 8th grade trip to D.C. When is the trip and how many people are going?
The trip is this year March 9th for the weekend. We'll leave on a Friday very early in the morning, and we'll get back on Monday very early in the morning on Monday, about 3 a.m. Because we fly there. So, but it's March 9th, 10th, and 11th, and we typically take about 80 to 90 students.
How might students pay for the trip?
Students have an opportunity to do tons of different fundraising, but they also can pay monthly payments, and they get $50 off if they sign up by a certain time of the year.
How might students who are going on the trip prepare for it?
Students definitely need to be ready to walk. They do so much walking. I think in my step counter, we had over 20,000 each day that we were there. We start from 7:30 in the morning, and we don't get back till 8:30 at night. Also, you make sure the weather. We never know what the weather's going to be, so always bring an umbrella, clothes to keep you warm, sweatshirts. Hooded sweatshirts are very nice to have, but just always making sure you have your good walking shoes on because there's tons of walking.
What have students in the past enjoyed about the trip?
My favorite of all time was the National Cathedral, and most of the students feel the same way as me. This totally hooks the students without a doubt. The World War II memorial fountains are amazing as well. The Vietnam Memorial Wall, the MLK Junior Memorial. So many cool things that we're able to visit in such a short time that really captures a great view of our history.
Thank you, Ms. Bishop. We hope you have a good time on the trip.
Thank you.
7th graders, start thinking about if this is a trip you might want to do. This trip takes advantage of every minute and you get to see so much of our nation's history.
I know that this group will be one of the first groups to see Mount Vernon, the home of George Washington after being closed for restoration work. Students, have a great trip.
We are nearing the end of the second winter season sports, so over to sports to find out this week's games.
Hi, I'm Sinai.
And I'm Kim. We will start with girls basketball. The white team plays their final games this week, Monday against Fruitport and Wednesday against Holland Middle, both at home.
Their final game is Thursday away against Valleywood. The black team plays Monday away at East Middle and Wednesday at home against Hudsonville.
Boys Swim and Dive challenge North Rockford at home on Monday.
Wrestling has their final meets this week, Tuesday away against Hamilton and Thursday at home against Muskegon.
The spring season sports will be starting March 19. If you are planning on doing girls soccer, boys tennis, or girls and boys track, you can sign up by going to Will Panthers.
A new spring team starting up is Sailing Club. Here's a quick announcement from 8th grader Caitlin, a representative of the sailing team, to tell you more if you may be interested.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, and this year the story in the first official West Ottawa sailing team. The meeting was this week, but there's still time to sign up, and it's a really great way to meet other people and just get involved in a sport. It's during the spring, and they meet Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and you can get out on the water and have lots of fun.
This is a co-ed opportunity for all students grades 7 through 12. Go to this website to find out more or to register.
Don't forget that our showcase is tomorrow night, and thanks in advance to any students helping out.
Thanks for watching our show.
Have a great week.
Bye!